As the federal government continues to react to international condemnation of alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has cautioned against portraying Nigeria's security crisis along religious lines, insisting terrorists and bandits target citizens indiscriminately regardless of faith. Akpabio issued the warning during Thursday's plenary while contributing to a motion on alleged religious persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Akpabio questioned how anyone could differentiate victims by religions after attacks, emphasizing that violence affects all Nigerians equally.
If you look at what is happening in the Southeast, predominantly Christians, most of those that are killed in the Southeast, including the late husband of our demised icon, Dora Akunyili, the way the man was shot dead and everything, will you come and ascribe that to religion? I'm talking about what IPOP is doing. You see brothers killing brothers. Okay, so the sit-at-home that is going on Mondays in the Southeast that has almost crippled the economy of the Southeast, is this targeted at Christians or Muslims? So Nigeria has complex security situations, and we should actually go out there and educate people, because the moment they bring sanctions to breed poverty. Poverty knows no religion. So for me, engagement will be the best. So when we go into executive session, we can decide to set up a small ad hoc committee to go to United States or America and engage our colleague parliamentarians there. And then to also educate them. Because if you see what these people are doing, most of them are outsiders. When they come and start spraying bullets from GP, or what do you call it, or they throw rocket, they are not throwing rocket into the crowd targeting a particular religion. They are killing Nigerians. I don't know who will now go and sit down and bring out maybe the dead bodies and say, this one is a Christian, this one is from this family, this must be a Muslim. So we are facing a situation whereby these terrorists are trying to terminate the lives of Nigerians. No, I was about to look at your side, because I think a lot of herbalists have also been killed in the. Is there anybody that is opposed to this motion? Okay.
All right. Every Nigerian life matters, including herbalists, according to Godswill Akpabio there. Now, that was Senate President Godswill Akpabio arguing that, framing terrorism as a conflict between Christians and Muslims is misleading and, only deepens divisions among Nigerians. The motion sparked intense debate on Thursday as lawmakers weighed national security narratives against reports of targeted attacks on religious communities across various states. Well, Akpabio's comments, however, have garnered several reactions on social media, including Facebook, Instagram, and of course, X, formerly known as Twitter. And I'll start with an X post. This person wrote, Nigerians have been killed, both Christians and Muslims. This is a fact. However, it is unnecessary to constitute a delegation that would travel to the US to tell the full story. It is just another means to misappropriate taxpayers' funds. The truth will be told one day. Imagine Rufai Ayo, they want to send a delegation to the United States of America.
Is that not what they do?
Yes. And let me take another post that this person wrote. Don't forget that this same Senate screened and cleared someone who forged his certificate to be minister. Let's hope that their U.S. counterparts will not tell them what for. What are you doing here? That's the question. Gradually, Nigeria will have external intervention since the internal ones have failed to yield results. And, one of the comments Godswill Akpabio made about, IPOB and the Southeast killing Nigerians, which, also is a fact. And I'll take a reaction from Facebook. This person posted on Facebook saying, your opinion is acknowledged, but we have to set a boundary line between secessionists and jihadists. Once you know the root cause of this insecurity, you will realize the Christians suffering the crisis. Because, he also talked about the fact that, these terrorists, when they go out to bomb a community, do we go out to pick out the, find out whether they are Christians or Muslim being bombed. But you also know that the Christian Association of Nigeria has also debunked the federal government's claim about whether or not, Christians are being killed and all of that. I'd like your thoughts. Let me start with you, Ayo, since I started with you, Rufa, about Godswill Akpabio even trying to send a delegation to the United States to, sit with them and let them know what really is going on. Because it also touched on how sanctions would affect Nigeria eventually if this happens.
I think that's the most what Nigerians are worried about the most.
Correct.
Because of the consequence of being listed as a country of particular concern. And this is the highest condemnation by the United States on countries that are seen to not tolerate or promote religious freedom. Nigeria was listed or designated in 2020 and we're removed from that list in 2021. And like you mentioned, it can bring economic sanctions and some aid being pulled away from the country as a way to serve as a measure to deter this. But let me talk about Senate President Akpabio, the uncommon senator, asking that he might put together a team of senators to go to America. For what exactly? Let the facts speak for themselves. Instead of spending Nigeria's hard-earned money and our resources to take our senators abroad, can we fix some of the challenges that he himself highlighted in trying to justify that it's not a religious targeted attack? He talked about issues around people being killed, citing the example of Professor Doyo Akinyele's husband, very unfortunate one there. He talked about what happens in the Middle East and people being bombed. He talked about IPOB seats at home. These are real issues of concern, of security, whether or not they are religiously motivated. Can we sit down in our country and fix those issues rather than becoming a laughing stock in the world? And so a better solution would be for the Senate to come together and prefer or take a deep action, a specific action against violence and acts of terrorism in Nigeria against any Nigerian citizen. I think it's quite a shame as well, Oji, that it took the American Congress speaking about this, or people, whether it be the report that was done, to highlight how bad the security situation in Nigeria before we all begin to talk about trying to save the image of Nigeria and trying to talk about these issues when we already know that we have a problem in security in the nation. Please don't spend taxpayers' money going abroad. Let us fix the issues here and the facts will speak for themselves.